Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this 10 video series of how to produce your first 3D printed vinyl record. Now, if you're a vinyl record lover like me, this is a great way to produce your own content onto a tactile, tangible disc that is playable later on. Now, it sounds a bit out there and it sounds a bit, well, how are we going to be doing this? But hopefully you and I will be going through this journey on creating our first ever 3D printed vinyl record. I haven't created one myself, but hopefully I will at the end of this 10 video process. So here we go. Before we move on to the first step of this process, I want to mention a big thank you to a lady named Ghassaei. She is a digital artist, digital designer, and digital extraordinaire who has made this process actually possible for people like us on the internet who are virtually driven by content and produce our own content online and actually want to create something physical for ourselves to keep at home or even possibly give it to somebody. So it's absolutely amazing and want to say a massive thank you. If you want to get in touch with Amanda or see any of her work, just check in the description below. There's some links that I've posted there that links directly to her website and all of her links. So make sure you check them out and give them a big thumbs up. Also, before we move on to our first step, we need to make sure that we have downloaded all the files that I've left in the description down below. There's a few links there that you need to download. Make sure that you download everything and keep it in a nice folder, compacted away from the rest of your computer, as the organization of these files need to be kept intact for this entire process to work. So make sure everything is downloaded and everything's ready to go. As we move to the first step in this process, we're going to be going to the folder to which we downloaded all of those files and unzip everything. So first folder we're going to be needing to go to is one called Model Builder version 0007A03. We'll be opening that folder and there will be a folder within that folder called Model Builder. We're going to be copying this folder, copy Model Builder, and pasting it in a folder called Processing. Now, processing is also another file we downloaded, and it is either saved in your documents or in your downloaded section, depending on how you download things on your own computer. As you can see, it's my processing folder here, all ready to go. Opening up processing and then moving into libraries and pasting the Model Builder folder previously into this section, which we have to replace the folder that's already in there. Now, once this is done, this means that the first step of the process is done, and all steps after this will be perfectly executed, hopefully. So, next step is to open up an audio file into Audacity. Now, my selection of audio is a personal track of mine, one that I've composed called Pattern Room. If you want to check out my stuff, go on to Daniel Cvetkovski on SoundCloud. Give him a like, give him a thumbs up. So we're going to be opening that file into Audacity. I've already got Audacity loaded up. All I need to do is open recent file and let it load in. So as you can see, the entire track is almost 6 minutes long. My purpose for this entire vinyl record is to make sure that things run smoothly along the process. So I would like to recommend to you all that to select a small selection of the track. So I'm only selecting a minute. You can select anything more than a minute, only if you have anything over 16 gigs of RAM. Anything below 16 gigs of RAM, my suggestion is to actually select a minute of the track, cut it, and paste it by itself as one track, one standalone track. This means that your computer won't be running and crashing, and you won't have an issue in that respect. Now, after this has been pasted, we're going to be amplifying the entire track. We can amplify beyond clipping, so that's okay. We're allowed to allow clipping, and just increase the slider to make sure that the new peak amplitude and the amplification is roughly the same. Press OK. And zoom in just to see that it's roughly only the tips that are amplified and the rest of it isn't clipping. This will make sure that the whole entire track isn't distorting as much as you'd like to, but because we have a low sampling rate on the production of the 3D printed vinyl record, we need to make sure that all of the audio is amplified for it to actually increase and be indented on the vinyl record itself. Next step is to select this entire process and leave roughly 30 seconds on the end just of silence, and export the selected audio. However, what we're going to be doing is saving this entire WAV file into the correct folder. So where you have all your downloaded files kind of sectioned away from the rest of your computer, we find a folder called 3D Printed Record Master, to which inside there is an internal folder called Processing 3D Printed Record. We're going to be pasting this file, this WAV file, in this folder to make sure that the next couple of steps throughout the process are working. So call it something very simple like pattern. Don't call it anything complex, because we're going to be coding later on and we don't need any extra words or letters to make the whole process a little bit more difficult. So I'm just calling mine pattern. Save the changes, go back to your folder, and just double check within 3D Printed Record and Processing 3D Printed Record whether you have a working pattern.wav file in the folder. So that is the first step through this entire 10 video process. Check with me tomorrow for the next step, and we're going to be taking things very slowly, but we will eventually get there, guys. If you have any questions or queries for this entire episode, please subscribe to my channel and comment in the boxes below. And please just hit me up on YouTube, hit me up through Facebook, SoundCloud, whatever you like, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you very much, guys.